Welcome back to the Chiro Money Show, where we're helping chiropractors make better financial decisions so they can build stability in their finances and a lifestyle that they love. We're your hosts, Chris Shield and Scott Campbell, financial planners with Aligned Wealth.
We're rolling through summer pretty quick here, aren't we, Chris?
Yes, we are. That tends to happen when you have athletic events every weekend of the summer, hey, Scott?
Yes, that and your preparation for a big move out to Vernon. That's a couple weeks away.
Yeah, it's coming close, so life is full on.
Summer's flying by, but you're also making some time for some of these athletic events.
Yeah. It was great I wasn't participating, but it was great to run down and watch you do your first triathlon, official triathlon event, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Last weekend in Edmonton here.
Yeah, the Due North Sprint Triathlon. It's a different format than training for the Ironman, which is obviously a much larger distance, so pacing is different, but I signed up for it with the intent of just getting familiar with the transitions, but of course my competitive nature came out and had to go full send and max heart rate through most of it.
Yeah, there was no zone 2 in that one.
0 zone 2. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So that was great to see. Looked like fun. Yeah. And then a couple weeks, you got Calgary half
Ironman this weekend. Yeah. That's coming up real quick.
And then we got the Canadian Death Race mixed team relay.
Yep.
On August long weekend.
Yeah.
Busy times.
Go.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you're off to Vernon.
Yeah. As soon as we get back, basically it's pack up and leave. So
crazy. Summer's going by too fast, but we're having lots of fun.
Yep. Hopefully our listeners are as well.
That's true.
Yep.
And even though we're as busy as we are, we gotta keep showing up here each week. Gotta make sure that we're fulfilling our weekly duties of giving our listeners something to listen to while they're driving around, doing all their fun summer activities.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What episode number are we on here, Scott?
This should be episode 42, I believe. We're
42.
We're rolling.
That's impressive.
For sure. Yeah.
We're close to, we're almost a year in.
It's almost been a year in of doing weekly episodes of the Chiro Money Show. We didn't think we could do it, but here we are.
Yeah.
We're making it happen.
Wow. Making it happen. It's great.
So tell us, Chris, what inspired you kind of had the idea for our topic today. So tell us kind of how it came up and what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. So I'll start with the kind of the title or what we're talking about. It's just why giving and generosity might be the best investment that you make. And this is inspired by Dr. Daniel Crosby, friend of the show. He's the author of a book called The Soul of Wealth that's come out recently. And basically one of the short kind of essay style chapters in that book is all on the link between giving and happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty interesting research that we'll get into a little bit, but basically you're showing that giving rather than spending on yourself actually leads to a happier life.
For sure.
And
there's only so much spending you can do on yourself before the level of happiness that comes from that starts to plateau.
Yeah.
Right? Especially when you start to reach a point in life, although the research obviously indicates that, we'll get into it, but it's regardless of your level of wealth or income that giving can have that same level of happiness that's correlated with that, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's one of the first, let's just dive right in. One of the first kind of interesting areas that to me is like what Daniel Crosby refers to as felt wealth. So like, how do we feel wealthy? Right? Like, and there's two main factors based on the research that determine if you feel wealthy. One, as you would expect, is a person's actual level of wealth, right? So like actually having, a higher net worth can lead to you feeling more wealthy. But regardless of what level you're at, whether you're ultra high net worth or somewhere lower than that, at any bracket of like income level, if you do more giving, that correlates to feeling wealthier. That is extremely interesting.
It's fascinating what the research does show in terms of, just being, regardless of how much wealth you have, you could feel very, very poor, very, very humble kind of income and what you have, personally from a wealth standpoint, and get immense joy and happiness from giving. No matter how much giving that is, like the dollar amount doesn't matter either. Like just the fact that you are making an active decision to give. And then we'd like to talk about kind of are also different forms of giving as well that we'll touch on, but it's not always just financial either.
Yeah, for sure. So next, we want to talk about why generosity feels so good. And there's a couple of terms that are often thrown around. One of them is referred to as the helper's high, and or the neuroscience version of this that has more peer reviewed research and more kind of scientific research backing it up, referred to as the warm glow. So the helper's high comes from a fellow named by the name of Alan Lux, who is the former executive director of Big Brothers and Big Sisters of New York. And yeah, basically just on his work with that organization and interviewing a whole bunch of volunteers, he found that in his survey of like regular volunteers, that these acts of kindness are cardioprotective, they called. So they cause blood vessels to relax and widen. They lower blood pressure, reduce strain on the heart just by volunteering, by doing good for others. He also concluded that regular volunteers or helpers were roughly 10 times more likely to be in good health than non-volunteers. So like you mentioned a moment ago, like generosity or giving, it's not always financially related. Like this is people that are donating their time and energy to volunteer with an organization.
Yeah.
So yeah, the biochemical explanation is that like volunteering reduces stress and releases endorphins. These are kind of the brain's natural painkillers. Pretty interesting. And then kind of connected with that, back in 2007, there's a study from Mayer and Bugart that found that very similar things, like they refer to it as the warm glow study, but it kind of lights up the brain's reward circuitry, and choosing to give lights it up more than other activities. So very interesting kind of scientific framework here on this.
Can I talk about just a quick warm glow that just comes to mind real quick?
Yeah.
Even though it's so minor, but just a perfect case in point. I don't think you visit Tim Hortons as much as I do, Chris, for some Tims, but I don't know if you've had the experience of someone ahead of you in the drive-through line picking up your tab, no matter how large or small it is, just buying you a coffee, and you just get this sense of like, wow, that was so kind and generous. And usually what I think the first people's instinct to do is to kind of pay it forward and then do it again for the person behind you. And I don't know about you, but I've experienced that a few times where someone's done that for me and then I've done it for someone else. And you leave that drive through like just having that kind of that warm glow of like, I did something good for someone just did something nice for me. The level of joy and happiness that just came from that small act, a small and like not a big financial number, but just small. It's huge, right? And obviously just a very minor example, but it's a case in point of like, no matter how big or small financially, or to your point of like volunteering time, it can go in so many different ways in terms of getting that level of joy and happiness from giving.
Yeah. Yeah. I think just doing something like that, like you don't even know the person in the car ahead of you that paid, but you feel this connection to them.
That's right.
And then the person behind feels that connection to you. And that just, I don't know, that positive kind of relational experience, I think is a huge impact as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know we both have some experience in different capacities with like volunteering hours and time. You've done a lot with kids sports and giving back in that capacity. I know I haven't done it lately, but I've participated with Big Brothers and Sisters and junior achievement in the past, and the amount of it's so true. And I don't think I realized at the time when I did it when I was younger, but the level of joy and happiness that came from giving time, giving back to others. And at that point in time wasn't financial, but just giving time and volunteering goes so far with just general fulfillment of life.
Step back to the financial component for a second, because people will argue, and as often, I'm sure you can find this, like there are people out there that say like money can buy happiness to some degree. And that, maybe spending on yourself is a good use of your financial resources. So back to Daniel Crosby, and he referenced some work by Dunn and Norton, who did some happiness research and found that there's pretty short list of categories that have any kind of correlation to happiness. There's four categories. So first one, time freedom. So buying yourself out of tasks that you hate or that you dislike. Maybe some examples, hiring a house cleaner to clean the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. Buying yourself time is a great user of resources, financial resources that can lead to happiness. Yeah. Number two, spending money on experiences with people you love. So time with friends and family, to some degree, having the resources and to be able to do that is going to have a direct correlation to happiness. And then the third one is novelty, which is interesting. That's like kind of like taking a break, taking a step back from all the busyness of life and
Mm-hmm.
being able to just do something for the fun of it. Most classic example here is travel. So like
Yeah.
going to New York just to see New York.
Yeah.
Like
For
maybe
sure.
you're going to go and watch a sporting event or walk through Central Park, whatever that is, whatever you like about New York. Going and experiencing that can certainly lead to a happier life.
It makes me think of how common it is to for maybe say like the generation ahead of you, maybe they've accumulated and built some wealth in the family, and what would bring them so much joy and fulfillment is treating their family, like their kids and maybe their grandkids, to a trip to wherever, to New York or Mexico or whatever that is. Like that can bring so much immense fulfillment and joy to not only have that your own kind of experience of traveling, but to give that to others as well, that you're close with family and friends. Like it goes so far.
Totally. And
Right.
for the family member that's able to do that, you're hitting on three out of these four key areas that are shown to provide like to lead to a happier life. And the last one here, as you could probably guess, is giving money away. And that's the last fourth indicator of happiness. So if you're in a position to be able to treat your family to a holiday, a vacation of some kind, that's novelty, that's
Mm-hmm.
giving money away, and that's leading to spending time and having experiences with people you love.
Yeah,
Three out of the four, that's pretty darn good.
for
Maybe
sure.
if you hired a travel agent to do that for you because you hate that process, you could maybe be hitting on four out of the four.
There you go. You're
Yeah,
onto something here.
that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. In terms
All right.
of how does this all connect to kind of thinking about maybe the big picture for our listeners when we think about our kind of putting together a financial plan, thinking about our month to month cash flow? Like, do you have any ideas, Chris, in terms of how we can kind of incorporate this into being more thoughtful and like planning to give, either that being financially or, of course, like giving time or mentorship or anything along those lines?
Yeah. So first, I would say that starting small, like it's there's so many parallels with this and like investing. Say like so many people are, I don't want to start investing or nervous too because I only have, I can only do $50 a month or whatever that number is. That's not a good enough reason not to start investing. And the same goes for giving. Small and consistent beats big and random.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
starting that consistency is going to lead to that happiness boost regardless of the dollar amount. So, yeah, I would say there's a huge opportunity to look at this when we dive into a personal cash flow and we map out, here's how much we have coming in on a monthly basis. Here's our committed expenses. How much do we want to add for giving? And just start by carving out the dollar amount first.
Yeah.
What do we want to start with? And like I said, starting small is fine. Just start somewhere. And then if we can first make sure that works with the personal cash flow plan, I think that's the priority of the starting point. Then comes the fun part of deciding, well, where do you want to allocate those giving resources?
Hmm.
And that's kind of like the exciting part, right? Like, what is near and dear to your heart? What are you passionate about? Like, is it environmental stuff? Is it arts and music? Is it sports? Is it, any kind of anything, right?
Yeah. And doesn't have to be necessarily one thing either, right?
That's
Like,
right.
as you grow your wealth, grow your available income that's coming in to do more. I think we talked before we started recording, Chris, like about diversifying your giving as well. Like I can think of one of our clients' cash flow plan where they have like 6 or 7 different line items of various amounts that are going out to different causes and charitable things that they feel passionate about and want to continue doing on a monthly basis. So
Yeah,
it can be
for,
done,
s-
right?
for sure.
With intention.
For our listeners, it's pretty cool hearing like from our clients some of the things that they are involved in and doing to give and how that works into their lives as chiropractors. Um, some of the most common, what you say, Scott, is volunteering of time and energy and like the form of mentorship.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so common with some of our docs who are now kind of getting more established in their practice and their career. Like they want to see the profession move forward so that they're making active decisions to, you know, give time to either associations or just spending time with other docs and like taking the time to see them build and grow and continue to push the profession forward. So obviously there's a lot of different ways that you can kind of fulfill that in different capacities and have
even
that sense of joy and fulfillment from doing so, right?
for sure, even bringing on associates like can be a form of that as well. Like I know to some of our clients that is part of like giving back is
Yeah.
training and mentoring associates that they bring in. And that's
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Hmm.
Also neat like this spring here hearing about the new school plan for Calgary
Hmm.
and hearing our clients pretty excited about that and looking for ways to contribute financially maybe towards something like that that's going to advance the profession in
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah. Yeah. They're all paying those association dues, giving extra time and money towards that. All goes towards moving and advancing the profession, right? So yeah, needless to say, lots of different ways you can continue to grow your wealth, but continue to find additional ways of more fulfillment, obviously kind of what we're trying to aspire with this whole podcast, like living the best life that you can and growing wealth, but living this great lifestyle, but also getting joy and fulfillment from what you're looking to grow and from a career standpoint. And you can do that by finding all these different ways of giving either financially or just giving time and volunteering.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that I find particularly interesting is that nowhere in Dr. Daniel Crosby's work or research do they reference the tax implications and tax benefits of giving. And we haven't
Hmm.
talked about that yet either.
Yep.
It's interesting because even though it's a pretty big incentive to giving, like if you're donating to a registered charity in Canada as an Albertan, like if you're doing I think it's like over $200 per year, you reach the like 50% refund amount. Like
Hmm.
50% of what you give is going to be returned back to you when you file your taxes. Like
Yep.
that's huge.
For sure.
Huge, but that's not even the key motivator or benefit of giving. That's just like an added little bonus that we get when we choose to be generous.
Yeah. There's one thing to maybe make, say, financial charitable contributions at the end of a year when your accountant says, hey, we could reduce your tax owing by making a charitable contribution. Maybe that contribution might feel good to make so you can eliminate a tax bill, but it shouldn't be, I think from our standpoint, it's like if you're doing that with some sort of plan and intention, be that monthly or yearly, it's part of your financial plan, part of your cash flow plan. That's where you're going to start feeling that fulfillment and that joy from regular giving.
Yeah. Yeah. Like proactive decisions versus reactive. Obviously, we would always be in favor of the proactive type,
Yeah, for sure.
but maybe one year, depending on the circumstances, it does make sense to make that large contribution at year end.
Yep,
But
for sure.
regardless, there's a lot of other amazing reasons to give and be generous. We'll leave her there.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for tuning in for another episode of the Chiro Money Show. We'll see you again next week. All opinions expressed on the Chiro Money Show are for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. Nothing on this podcast should be considered financial, legal, accounting, or tax advice. Always consult your own team of licensed professionals before making decisions about your finances.